I love Lakeisha Robinson, who's with the city of St. Louis, the educational liaison. Um, she is actually in Costa Rica right now, but she
Joining our
really,
meeting?
nope, she's got her
Oh,
autopilot, but she said she really wants to listen to it, so that's good.
I would be
I would
really
be very
impressed.
upset with her. I would be very upset with her if she was in Costa Rica, um, you know,
Yeah,
listening on this. And that with that said, Paula.
so jealous.
Oh, I've actually and by the way, Paula Vickers, if anybody deserves some time in Costa Rica, it is you. You have been just working yourself crazy for kids in Missouri. So congratulations. Um, the air is better in Costa Rica. The greenness, the beach, I don't know. It is truly a wonderful place. I'm so happy for you.
Well,
Oh,
thank
now we got
heavens
some
for the rain today.
chats. Yeah, love. Thank you. Thank you, the rain. I was so happy.
Do you want to go ahead and get started,
Oh,
Lisa,
I
you think?
sure do.
All right, you hit record.
I hit record
All right.
and
Welcome,
I will
everybody.
try to make sure that anybody that's in the waiting room is brought in.
All right. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to our June Missouri Childhood Community Leaders. Wow, it's a mouthful. It's the Childhood St. Louis Area Childhood Leadership Task Force meeting for June. And so glad that you guys are joining us. And of course, those that can't join us this month will get the ability to have to review the recording, or maybe you want to go back and review something we talk about today, and the recording will be available at the conclusion of our meeting, and we'll have it in the Google Drive. So um,
Yes.
my name is Christy Roberts. I'm with University of Missouri St. Louis CIAC, or Community Innovation and Action Center, and my partner is Lisa Greening. Hello, Lisa.
Uh, I would turn the page STL, which is St. Louis's chapter of the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. We're really focused on third grade reading proficiency. But guess what? As I say to everyone, starts day one. Everybody here on this call understands that a child's ability to read proficiently by the end of third grade starts with high quality child care programs.
And
And
then
then
Liam,
Leah,
yeah, she's not here today, but she helps us tremendously with a lot of things. So we are all proud to be your Missouri childhood community leaders in the St. Louis region. So welcome. So we have something to celebrate today, and that is the opportunity to continue leading the St. Louis region childhood community leader work. So that's right. United for Children wanted us back. They wanted us back. So Silciac and then Turn the Page St. Louis have recently signed a new MOU, and we want to thank you just for continuing to show up to these meetings and continue this important work for another year. So, with this new contract year, there will be a new statewide mission and vision statement coming that are going to inform our goals for the coming year. And when we get those, we will be sharing them with you like we always do. So we are really excited about the next year. With the new year, we're going to change things up a bit and just have a consistent flow to our leadership task force meetings. We want to have a standing agenda item at the beginning of each meeting for everyone attending to introduce themselves, discuss their work, and maybe share current events or happenings at your organization. This is going to take some time each meeting, but we feel like it's a critical piece to our meeting together, and that is just our support of each other. Of course, allowing for that collaboration between us and ensure that the content and the discussion we plan and prepare for these meetings remains relevant. So we're excited for this shift to just learn about and from each other. So here's our
I will be
agenda for
taking
today.
notes.
Yeah,
I
and
will,
Lisa is the great note taker. I'm a terrible note taker. And then, of course, we'll have the recording of this meeting in that Google Drive available to you. So I'll pause and just let you look at the agenda we've got for today. And the slides will also be available in the Google Drive. Great question. Right, so Lisa?
take it away.
Yeah.
Some of you are familiar with being on the Turn the Page STL work teams. And so I kind of want to create that camaraderie and togetherness with all of the 21 people joining us today. So I welcome. Please come off mute. And I think at this point, I'll just try to move everybody along. If you're not showing your video, I may be calling on you. You're welcome to come off. If not, no worries. But what we'd really like to know is your name, your organization. Why are you here? And to talk about a success or a challenging that is occurring in your work right now. With that, I am going to say that I'm Lisa Greening. I'm with Turn the Page STL. And one of our successes here is that we have an Office of Literacy now at the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education that we're working with to make statewide literacy changes for children birth through adulthood. So that's an exciting thing that's happening with Turn the Page STL. Can I call on, Christy, how do I look at everybody? Let's see here, view.
You can look at the checker. You could have the checkerboard view, which gives more people on your screen.
On my screen. The checkerboard. Is that standard? Well, I'm just gonna go across the top then. Miss, does that sound like a good idea? All right, I see, oh, Larry Felton, you just jumped as the person right next to me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I guess I get to be the introductory victim.
Yes.
Well, my name's Larry Felton. I'm a past member, kind of my past. I was on the Melville Board of Education for 15 years. I'm a past MSBA president, so I have kind of a view of early childhood from a board perspective. What I'm working on now that I think applies to this, I'm working with some 3 or 4 people to try and establish an early education district in St. Louis County. And one of the things I do to help do that is I track legislation that affects early childhood and several other factors of education.
Also, by the way, even though I can, you know what, Christy, can you take down the slide? I just want everybody to see each other easily. Your name, organization, success, or and with that, if you have a question as we go on with anybody, you're welcome to put that question in the chat, or if it's something really quick that you want to it's something you really want to ask really quickly, please do. Okay, Miss, and I hope I'm saying this right, Miss Carradine.
Close enough. Carradine.
Carradine.
Good.
We're just getting to know each other.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcia Carradine, and I am a parent educator with Riverview Gardens School District. And something that myself and my coworkers are working on is that we are trying to ensure that we screen every child from prenatal to kindergarten entry in the Riverview Gardens School District, which is pretty challenging, but we're getting the stab at it. And then I have a quick question for Larry. You mentioned early education district. What area are you targeting for that?
Our primary focus is 4-year-olds and try to establish a county-wide level that would fund all aspects of early childhood, not just public, but we
Oh,
might do
yeah.
something like a Title I where we take money and we'd make sure every childhood provider was funded.
Okay. That's
So
important.
right, so if it's a family provider, which we're gonna get into a little bit today,
We think anyone that serves, and we're starting with 4-year-olds. At some point in time, you'd want 3-year-olds too, or
Mhm.
or late 5-year-olds in the case of
Birthday.
June 30th. But we want all providers. We want this to be a horizontal solution for 4-year-olds.
fantastic. And just to answer your question, Marcia, it would be all of St. Louis County. So it would include Riverview Gardens all the way
Oh, yes.
down to Melville.
All 22 districts and probably special school district too.
Ah, that makes sense. All school districts. Well, Jane, welcome. I know this is your first time here. And introduce yourself.
Thanks, Lisa. Thank you all for having me. I'm Jane Herder. I'm a teacher of the visually impaired in comms. I was a TVI in St. Louis Public Schools, and now I'm at Outreach at the School for the Blind. So we have a couple of services. One is a parent education program where we have parent advisors go into the homes of parents who have a child with a vision impairment or deaf blindness, dual sensory vision and hearing. And that's birth through 6, that's across the state of Missouri. We also have a birth through 21 deaf blind project, so we can provide professional development and help parents attend conferences. And that's birth through 21, that's also across the state of Missouri. In the St. Louis region, I have a blind skilled specialist. So let's say your school district does not have a teacher of the visually impaired, and you suspect the child has a vision impairment, whether it's birth through 21. My blindness skilled specialist will come out and do a full assessment on that child and say, hey, yeah, here's what you need, and here where we go forward. Even training the staff, if I'm saying, all right, you don't have a teacher of the visually impaired in your school district, but here are some accommodations and modifications you can make for that little itty bitty baby, or all the way up until, they graduate. Success is I'm here at your meeting. Thank you for having me, Lisa and Christy. I really appreciate it. Long-term planning, we're looking to have an integrated preschool here at the School for the Blind. And that comes from my experience teaching in the city schools for 15 years. Students who are blind or dual sensory would come in at 5 or even at 3. And there's no manual for raising a child, much less a child with sensory impairments. And so they had to catch up a lot in addition to keeping at grade level and then learning all the skills they needed as a blind and visually impaired student. So I'm super interested in it's a no-brainer. I think we all are interested in early intervention, but I saw what happens when students do get early intervention and they come into school, and that early intervention is, somewhat specific for these kids with sensory impairment. So I'm so grateful to learn
Wonderful.
about what everybody else does and how we can support you. And a challenge is, I think we all share the same challenge. The progress is slow, but we keep moving forward.
That's right. Frustrating, we get frustrated once a day, I think. But we
Yeah,
have to keep moving forward.
yeah.
Thank you, Jane.
So thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Hey, Stacy Sarton, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stacy Sarton. I'm with United for Children, and I'm the community leader coordinator. So I work with all the community leaders across the state. But we also have the early care and education resource and referral contract, so that we have the statewide resource and referral call center out of United for Children, where families can call for resources, childcare help, anything like that. We also manage the childcare database. So you can look at that online as well if you go to the unitedforchildren.org website. And then also on our website, we do have family education packets that is there for everybody to use. You can print them out, you can hand them out to families, you can request for them to be mailed to you. So we have finding quality childcare, keeping your children safe or keeping your child safe, school readiness, support in your region, and your child's development.
Fantastic. And everybody, if you want to put a link to your work, like those education packets and like you've received call center or the School for the Blind information or this legislation that Larry Felton you were talking about, anything, please put it in the chat because that will be shared also. And then I can easily then put that in the notes too. Thank you, Stacy. Sarah Woods, you're next on my what do you call this? Brady Bunch thing. Oops, we can't hear you.
Is this better?
Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. I know my last name says Woods on there, but it's Curran, Curran. I did update my last name finally. I am the registered dietitian and manager of the St. Louis County WIC program. So we start counseling on nutrition with prenatals. We talk about breastfeeding, formula feeding, and then we follow those children all the way through age 5. We work to address eating issues. Sometimes we catch those a little bit quicker than the doctors do, just depending on how often parents are able to get to the doctor. Sometimes that varies. We see our clients every 2 to 3 months. So sometimes we can catch those a little bit quicker and we can connect them with resources. Other things that we watch out for are just high iron levels. We watch for height and weight as well, just to make sure that we're plotting on the growth charts, and we can catch any issues if they occur pretty quickly because we see our clients so often. One of the current successes that we're having, not just at St. Louis County, but across the state with the Missouri WIC program, is that we're now seeing a higher enrollment in the program. Our program is very well attended across the state and really across the US, but we have now seen a growth. So that is something that we as local agencies have really worked on with our outreach. It's now part of our local agency plan each year. So yeah, that's a current success that we have.
Do they come to you, the families? Do they receive food when they come to you? And also, how many families then on average do you serve in St. Louis County?
Yeah, so they do come to us. We do an assessment. Our nutritionists and dietitians do an assessment, which can include, questions. It also includes that height, weight, and blood work, and also anything that comes from the doctor as well. So parents and doctors' offices will communicate with us if there's special medical needs that we need to also address through eating. And then as far as my current numbers, I'm still getting access to my system to find out how many people actually come in or we serve each day or month. So I just submitted a request today. So I can get you those numbers quickly. But I have 4 sites across the county. So I have a site in Florissant, a site in Berkeley at the Maine Health Department at Hanley and Airport Road. I have an agency or a site in Jennings, and then our South County site is right there at Sunset Hills.
Excuse me, where's your site in Jennings?
It's located at 4000 Jennings Station Road.
And I assume people, when they visit you, Sarah, can get food, or do they get access to food? Food waivers that they can take to the grocery store?
Correct. So there is a certification process that we need to look for. It's based off of income and household size. Once we, do that kind of intake information, like I said, we progress through the assessment, and then we do give them a food benefits on a card now. It used to be on checks, like a voucher system, and now it is on, we call it an eWIC card. So the benefits are uploaded to the card. They get a printout of the foods that are available to them. Some of it is just based on age. And then they take that to the store and they have all month to take off the card what they would like.
Wonderful, wonderful. Kristen Clemens, you are next on my screen. Thank you, Sarah.
Hi, I'm the Director of Early Childhood at the Brentwood School District. And a success that we've had is that I opened up preschool to all students that needed it based on income. And we've had several students take advantage of that, but they have to live in district. And Brentwood is very small. So our free and reduced program was highly successful and no challenges right now. Things are going good.
So you were able to accommodate all of the free and reduced lunch kids in the Brentwood School District for preschool?
Anybody that applied, that lives in the
Anybody that
Brentwood
applies,
School
that makes
District.
sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
So they can apply for reduced or free tuition, and there's a sliding scale that we have.
Thank you very much. All right, Beth Ann Lang.
Good afternoon. I am Beth Ann Lang, and I am the Chief Program Officer at Child Care Aware of Missouri. We are a statewide nonprofit, and we work with families through our concierge service, finding childcare and consumer education. We work with businesses and civic leaders around legislation, advocacy, and our line of business called Child Care Keeps Missouri Working, where we help to meet with local, it's been everything from community leaders to chambers to you name it, to talk about the child care crisis in each location and help them really work on what works for them, because there's not a one size fits all for every community, and to assess what their strengths are, what their challenges are, and then to move forward from there. And then I oversee our workforce development department. And that is where we do all of our work with the childcare educators across the state. So that's through training, coaching, and scholarships. And I think, and that's the Teach Missouri Scholarship. We have 10 different models, including the CDA. And our success right now is that it's June. In May, we launched the first home visiting CDA credential scholarship, which is huge. It is statewide. We have Paula Wright is our coordinator. And so we've taken June to get her in and up and running. And in July, you should be seeing a lot more marketing around the credential and who qualifies and how to get it out there. So we're very excited.
Wow, and we know that the parents as teachers in every school district is looking for parent educators.
And
Get that across the board.
well, we help them get a CDA, so it's a first formal step. And in many areas, parent educators, folks who work in home visiting through other agencies and other models, we have to have a bachelor's or an associate's, but in many areas, while that is the desire, that is not the pool. So for folks who are, maybe they have a different line of work they're coming from, maybe they have high school and some college, maybe they just have high school. This is a way to get the first formal step. It is a national credential. We help them get it. We help them get their education towards it. We also pay for it. They literally will come out with a credential. They pay nothing. And we give them a $430 bonus for getting the credential and for staying 6 months in employment past the credential. And it has to be renewed every 3 years. We help them do that for no cost. So we're very excited about it. You'll be hearing lots and lots and lots, and I'll be sending you more marketing. We just had to get our staff up and running because you gotta be able to have somebody at the door when you open the door.
There you go. I get it.
Can I
Good
share
start.
something right quick? I took
Go
advantage
ahead.
of that program when I started my career in education. So I started out at the community college and I used that program to help pay for it. And then I got paid to study at work, and it's a great program. And then I went on from there to get my bachelor's in child development. So it's a great program.
Excellent.
Yay,
Courage,
Marsha.
gave me the courage to like put myself out
We
and the
say that what we
Yeah.
do, we're the financial bridge and we're the navigation. You have
Yeah,
accountants all the way through, from beginning to end.
definitely works.
Something you do. And so that way, all those things that are the ghosts and the fears and all that, hey, we're here to help you through them all.
Yep, and they did. I appreciated that.
Oh, that's so good. I'm happy for you. Thank you.
That's what we want to hear. That's so wonderful. All right, Sandy Torbeck.
Sorry, I'm trying to get unmuted here on three
No,
monitors. I'm trying to get my cursor on the right page. So I'm Sandy Torbeck, and I'm the coordinator in St. Charles in the Francis House School District. This is my 25th year. Successes, we just got some title money and we were able to order $22,000 worth of ELL books that we've been working on this summer. We've got them on the shelf and going out, and they're going into the hands of families. So pretty excited about that. And we're
You
fully
said
staffed.
ESL books, right?
ELL.
ELL.
So we have 31 different languages. And we're hoping that
Wow.
every year we'll get those same that same title money to continue that.
That's
And then we're fully staffed. Knock on wood. For next year, we just hired 4 more people. So
congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
wonderful. That's wonderful news. Tina Mosley, you're next.
Hello, everyone. My name is
Hello.
Tina Mosley, and I am owner and operator of our Daycare and Learning Center, which is a family childcare program. Been in business for 28 years. And I also own co-founder of STAR, which is a staff coaching, training, and advocacy, and provide resources for the early childhood educator. I have also been a recipient of the TEACH program that Ms. Beth Ann just finished talking about. Recipient of some of the resources that Stacy have just spoken about through United for Children. Great programs, great resources. Some of the successes that we have recently been going through with STAR. We have been fortunate enough to receive, been recipients of grants through the Mental Health Board, in which we have been able to provide services to other programs, 15 programs in the city of St. Louis, where we were able to provide coaching and training to 15 programs, and we have been able to assist and provide social and emotional training that assisted over 300 students. We just wrapped up our 2nd year, and we just celebrated our end of the year celebration last Saturday. And we help provide CDAs for over 20 providers that receive their CDA certifications. We also just received another grant opportunity through Community Impact Network to assist the 24-1 footprint, which is in the Normandy School District. And we will be working with them with their CDA certification as well, helping with their CPR and first aid certifications, to getting them, maintaining them throughout the next 18 months. We will be supporting the directors of the programs in the 24/1 footprint, just with community engagements, helping them to maintain fellowshipping and networking in the program. We are excited about, and it's called PAC, Programs Achieving Quality, and just maintaining the fellowship. As some of you know, the challenges in early child care right now is the state of Missouri under the Office of Child Care, with funding and getting the quote unquote new system up and running and functioning properly, receiving payments to the providers, the parents getting their payments and credentials online correctly. So the providers can get paid, the parents can get recertified. All of that has been crisscrossed through the system. So providers have gone actually anywhere from 3 to 5 months without receiving payment for subsidized children. And for a lot of the programs in our communities, that means 75 to 90% of their children that they care for, they're not receiving payment, or they're only receiving 65 to 75% of their payments, which is substantial considering the number of children that they care for. So that's one of the big challenges in our community, and it affects them, it affects us, it affects our children. Ms. Bethy, and you said that you're working closely with workforce development, so you know that it affects them because the parents can't go to work, because what we're having to do now is lay off our teachers. We're telling parents they can't come because we were taking the load and we were letting parents stay while we were hoping that the system get fixed, and we were only digging ourselves in a bigger hole. And now we can't stay in that hole, so we're telling parents that they have to take their children. And so parents are now telling their bosses, I can't come to work because I don't have childcare. So it's affecting workforce. So I don't know if we can join some type of collaboration with workforce development, with chambers of commerce, and get the state to do something, offer some type of stipend, some type of, what did they do? ARPA? You know, some type of something.
So Tina,
Yes.
let's, I have a couple of things real quick. Let's you and Beth Ann and me meet, because I think this is a really critical issue and it's gonna take up too much time right here.
I know.
I'm gonna coordinate that as soon as we get
Yes.
off. That's okay, because I want to learn more about Beth Ann and where we can go from there. Two things though I wanted you to say. One, where did you end up having your appreciation event? Because I know why you couldn't have it here at the Del Mar Divine, because Tina received a huge award. So can you tell us where your appreciation event happened and what award that you received?
Okay, so I'm going to take over from here.
Yay,
I am
Adrian!
Adrian Pennington. I am also the co-founder of STAR, which Tina explained all of that. So let me go back to the accolades for Tina, which on June the 15th, she was nominated and received the award for the Black Girls Rock in her community award. She's also a PBS champion. She's also an NAFCC accredited family home childcare provider, and she has been voted one of the best communicators on our STAR team as it relates to getting programs to do what it is that we need them to do. One thing that we did not mention is STAR is an accredited Department of Labor approved and certified program. And our CDA program ran through the apprenticeship program, pre-apprenticeship program through the Madison County Workforce Development, where we were granted funds to implement the CDA for 25 participants. Out of that 25, 23 of them received their national credential, which we celebrated on April the 7th. with the data that we were able to give to the Workforce Development and the Department of Labor. Yesterday, they granted us another 50 participants that we can go ahead and do the pre-apprenticeship for. So we are looking for other programs that will be interested in signing up for a pre-apprenticeship program, and that we can place those staff members or participants in the workforce. The good thing about what we did on the first cohort is that every one of those participants already work in a program. So their directors, owner, or programs were able to get an incentive for being that pre-apprenticeship or apprenticeship program. We're still able to go in and coach them for the next 6 months. The only I'm not gonna say downfall is the great thing about Teach, which I am also a recipient of. Thank you, Beth Ann Lang, because she pushed me. So all the things that we are necessarily doing, I'm gonna speak for myself, is that I learned through the people that are on here, and we are able to now implement it to people that don't necessarily trust everybody. And so one thing that we pride ourselves on is building relationships with people and getting out what we learned and giving it back to the community. And so again, Teach was great, PAC was great. And for us to do full circle to say we were participants and now we're implementing it, it's just full circle to let you know how the program really does work. Our number one priority right now is to collaborate with any and everyone to make sure that we're not duplicating services. And if we are, how can we streamline what's happening so that everybody can have the benefit of what's going on in the ECE community?
Does anybody, Adrian, thank you. And you look great, by the way. You look really good. Adrian, Tina, and Beth Ann, like I said, I'm gonna pull you guys, we're gonna meet about this to make sure that the CDA is, that we're aligning. I think that's fantastic. And the business community, thrilled about that. If anybody wants to send me a private message, or to everyone that wants to participate in a meeting like that, more the merrier. I know we're getting close and everybody else is off, does not have their video up. Is there anybody that does not have their video on that would like to introduce themselves and tell us a success or a difficulty that you've had currently?
Lisa, I can go.
My name is Dr.
Go ahead, Tiffany. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay, sorry. My name is Tiffany Herbert, and I am the Early Childhood Careers instructor at our Lewis and Clark Career Center. It's our career center that services all of our high schools in St. Charles County. I have a 1 or 2 year program, and these are students who our program is application based, so who are interested in becoming educators or working with kids in some sort of capacity. So I would say success this year. At the end of our school year, every year, my students have to take an IRC, which is an industry recognized credential assessment. And this year, the state opened up the paraprofessional test for my students. So I had 12 second-year students take it, and 11 of them passed. So several of them were able to already start to use that in summer programs to help out, because several of our school districts are shorthanded for paraprofessionals. So that was exciting. And then the other thing is we are trying to work with St. Charles Community College and then possibly going to St. Louis Community College. The St. Charles Community College CDA program has kind of been put on hold. So we're trying to kind of reawaken that with me being able to teach my students, and they're able to leave me with 9 to 12 credit hours, but then also with their CDA credentials. So that's exciting. Just a lot of work and a lot of connections. So
that's fantastic. And these paraprofessionals, really quickly, Tiffany, these paraprofessionals have been trained to be early childhood educators, or are they?
Correct. So we use, we go birth through 3rd grade. That's what my curriculum is. So I do have some students that go on to do elementary, middle school, or high school. So the paraprofessional that my course, yes, definitely trains them. They get the 110 hours like the CDA requires of the content information. And my students who come for just 1 year, they receive over 100 practicum hours with a certified teacher. And then if I have second year students, they receive close to 400, 450 contact hours with students and certified teachers.
That's amazing. And I think we're last but never least, Miss Dr. Samantha March.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Samantha March, and I have the duty, honor, and pleasure of being associate partner for the Opportunity Trust, providing oversight for the St. Louis Pre-K Cooperative, which is a network of pre-K centers as well as child care centers, as well as LEAs within the St. Louis City footprint to help them to increase their instructional programming as well as expand the access to high quality early childhood education. A success that I've had is I have had great pleasure and fun with working with a lot of the partners, the organizations that are on this call today, and partnering with them to be the best that we can individually and collectively.
Amazing. Thank you, Dr. March. We're going to have to have you on soon to talk about the funding formula. That would be a really neat thing to talk to everyone about. All right. So St. Louis Region Communication Plan. We're going to jump through a few little things. So we are going to continue to gather monthly to understand the landscape. I think I know everything, and I clearly don't. I learn over and over and over, and things change so quickly. We need to figure out, and then you come off mute. Right now, we have a Facebook page, a group page, STL Community Leaders group page that you are all members of. And if you're not, please become one. But how do we collectively, and I did not tell Samantha what to say, but she queued me up beautifully. How do we collectively learn what all the stuff that's available here and communicate it clearly and easily to providers and families? I was talking to Christy yesterday about a web. How do we create a communication web? And if anybody would like to come off mute or say something in the chat or email us later, would love to know how we can best do this. This is our primary goal for this community leader work.
I am working with Mopata on a screening postcard, and it's just basically a regular size postcard with bullet point information that your child is eligible for free screening from prenatal to kindergarten entry, the reason why it's important, how it will benefit you, how it will benefit the child, and here's who you contact.
And is it just for Riverview Gardens School District?
No, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. Mopata and Desi that's working on that.
So if we could get that postcard, this is just my brainstorm, and we posted it on our Facebook page, then anybody could copy that postcard and put it in their newsletter, their way that they communicate to their families. And it's hard for us to remember to go to Facebook, but maybe it's, how do we push this out? And you know what I'm going to say? Think about it, everyone. Email me. How could Marcia post on the Facebook page and then ensure that was sent to all the families in Normandy, all the families in Melville, all the families in Brentwood. And you know what I'm saying? And that we create this communication hub.
Lisa, I'm also on that committee to do that, so we haven't gotten the final postcard out yet, but I did put in the chat the link to the Parents as Teachers Locator.
Oh, I see that.
And that's something that National Center did a while back, and anybody could put their zip code in, and it will take you to the closest Parents as Teachers program. And if it's not the right district, the coordinator should be able to get them into that. But it's that would be a great one to share out and get out to
That's
families.
fantastic. That's fantastic. So email me. How do you respond best? Do you respond best by going to a Facebook page? Do you respond best by getting a bulleted email? I mean, my email box is full. How can we best do this so that we can gather the information and then get it out? I guess next slide.
Yeah, and Lisa, I'll do the next slide, but I do want to just follow up. We found that the Facebook page is still one way, right? So we want to really encourage that back, you using stuff, sharing the stuff, or contributing to what we have on the Facebook page. So please do that. So this slide should look familiar to those that have been with us from the beginning of the year, but it summarizes priorities that we identified as a region with a survey that we asked you to complete. So with this new year, we do not want to forget about funding as our priority issue. We have taken some, intentional time and space to really focus on funding at our past meetings, and that has really informed the creation of our community leader Facebook page. And we're counting on you and, the members of that group to just promote that page, contribute to it, share the great early childhood opportunities that may land there. And so as we moved into the next year, though, we want to focus on our other identified priorities and use them to plan for our next meetings together. And so we're going to need your help with that. So that next priority was really determining best practices in early childhood. And we know United for Children already has some great resources on best practices in early childhood programs. I'd love to spend a meeting looking at those. But, so I can do that information. But if best practices is your passion, please, by all means, let us know so we can reserve a time for you to share what resources or guidance you have developed to share with this group and with providers in the early childhood field. Lisa can't wait to present on this next priority, transitioning supports for children entering kindergarten. She has a lot of great kindergarten readiness data on literacy skills, how we can cultivate a healthy handoff from early childhood to kindergarten. However, if this is a topic that's in something you'd like to speak to, we want you to let us know. And did you know that we have a task force member? I don't think Amanda's on this meeting, but Amanda Linsky, who works for Impact, is going to present on the supports and services Impact provides to families and children with disabilities. So she's going to be speaking in August on that, on this specific priority. So thanks, Amanda, for stepping up and volunteering. And then these other two topics are also important priorities that we identified. They're open for grabs. And so we want to work to plan together as a team to really tackle these in our upcoming meetings. So I want you to just be thinking about, we want to plan with you our next meetings together. And so now that we know each other a little bit better, let's, lean in on those expertises in the room and have them be kind of the highlighted speaker for that meeting or that month. So what's happening in the early childhood landscape and or our priorities that you're interested in getting our heads around, we want you to get in touch with us so that we can plan on you being the speaker for that particular month. So I went through that really quickly, but I know we're coming on 10 minutes at the end of our hour.
And we're sending the slide deck. Yeah, we're saying.
Yeah.
And this is the link to the Facebook group page. And obviously you can go on Facebook and look under St. Louis Region Childhood Community Leaders. And we're sharing stuff all the time. We want to figure out a way that then you can take that information. You can not only share, which was what Christy said, importance of you sharing and sharing and sharing, but also taking and taking and taking that information and getting it to providers and families. Thank you, Christy. Christy's so good at this, like getting in the chat and you know, tech stuff that I'm not the best at.
Thank you.
All right, next slide. Couple
Oh,
things.
but I
Oh,
did want to
good.
say, we were thinking, you know,
Oh.
towards summer and back to school stuff. If you have things you want to, you know, promote, please, we want that information there.
100%. And I know a lot of that is happening in August. Okay. I think everybody on this call has heard of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. But what I bet you don't know is that I was informed that St. Louis has the lowest percentage of families that participate in this program. This is a free book that is mailed to a family that has a child under age 5 every month, no cost. I always, and I'm just going to be blunt here, from the beginning of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, I worried a little bit about the quality of the books, the cultural relevance of the books, but I have to show you this. This was the book I got yesterday from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and it is so wonderful. And this young man has a lot of emotions when it comes to ice cream, especially when ice cream falls on the ground. And it's real and beautifully illustrated in a fun book. So please, please, please get your, we don't want to give money back to the state of Missouri because we don't have enough families signing up for this. I love what Paula just said. We get their books. I feel like the sign up process.
I sent it direct because I don't want this to be like a critique because I don't know what the process looks like. So I live in St. Louis City, and I signed up for my 2 boys. In the process, you have to sign up, you have to print the form and then fax or mail it. And I feel like that process might be a little bit, difficult for some folks because I had to print.
Awesome input.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And that's been one of our barriers, Lisa. I know one of those parents she's just like, get it done. So I just literally just told Andrea, she's sitting here, she heard your voice. I was like, I think that we should print out all of those forms to kind of like get through that barrier because families have that like issue of like picking that back up. And if people have to touch things 2 or 3 times, then it could be why our numbers are so low. So thanks for sharing that, Paula.
That is great.
Can I also add an input as well?
Yes, please.
So I would just make a suggestion too, that this could be a part of the enrollment process for childcare centers. When I was with SLPS, that's one of the things that I implemented with the Dolly Parton program. And what it is the reason why it's so cumbersome is because they have a very antiquated system. And so there's like no way to put all the information in a quick, fast digital way. There actually has to be a person who inputs the information manually into their system. For larger districts, you could actually have someone to reach out to Dolly Parton and have them get access to their system so that they can input the information. But for childcare centers that are wanting their children to get into the program, I would just suggest put it inside of the paperwork so that way families can opt into it, and then sending those enrollment forms off, periodically. So like once a month or once a quarter, you're having your data person to send that off. And thank you, Alicia.
That's wonderful information because not only are we saying how we can improve by having it in part of the enrollment process, but also it gives me and Christy ideas of how we can go back to Modesi and just say, hey, how can we tweak this program to make it easier for families to enroll? So I really appreciate this
Really
input.
helpful.
And keep sending me input. Okay, now this is, oh, Paula, go ahead. Since I can't see everybody with the slides.
I
Did
was
you
gonna,
have
I
your
love
hand
that.
up?
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that idea. I think is who houses the St. Louis City input? Is it Urban League? Do you know Samantha?
Who houses what? The Dolly Parton?
Yeah, there's an organization that houses it. I was trying really quick.
It used to be, the United Way used to be, but now
United
it's
Way.
all statewide.
Okay.
So that's who we connected with was United Way when it was offered to just SLPS.
I think
That's
especially
right.
like if we're trying to or in trying to reach St. Louis families, it might be great to pull in Urban League and like possibly have like have sign up stations at their Grill to Glory locations, because there's the opportunity to also reach children that aren't in childcare spaces. So like I think in partnering with organizations like that program that are all like having a footprint through the churches in the city, the point would be to like just pick up the forms that are filled out.
Paula, to your point, does the library do it, Paula? Like, is that another way, Lisa, to get people, can like the library help people sign up?
They could.
I
I know they have it on their websites, but I don't know if they Laura Pollock's on this call. I don't know if but she's there
Hey,
she
Lisa.
comes.
Sorry,
Hey, do you guys
I'm at
promote
home and
the
on
Dolly?
my tablet, so everything looks weird for me.
No.
But
Laura's with the St. Louis County Library.
so the library, we do have the information about the program in our community board areas. We aren't like doing forms, mailing things off for people. That's a little bit outside of our purview, but we do have the information for families if they are looking for that.
Hey, Paula and maybe Alicia, I'm gonna email you after this, and you can email me back after your trip to Costa Rica, because I do not want to get in the way of that. But how we can get the urban leagues and churches involved with this, and I can deal with the libraries, but you know how we can make this happen at the same time, making it more family friendly to sign up.
Yeah, I'm thinking specifically at like the Grill to Glory locations where every Saturday there's already a group that's out front in the community. It would be amazing just to also have that opportunity for the families that are stopping to get like a meal to also be able to do the code. I love the idea of a QR code, but like just being real, like in my community, people don't use QR codes.
Yeah, so we'll figure, let's talk. Let's figure out how we can make it easy on our end, but then how maybe we can work with Modesi to make it easier on their end. What are other states doing? Are they also, you know, it's cumbersome? I don't know. So, all right, I'm just loving all this stuff coming through. We have one more minute. So I want to make sure everybody knows about the National Association for the Family Child Care Conference. I know that some people on here are key presenters. Please take advantage of this. More and more in my lifetime, I've come to the great understanding of the importance of family childcare. And so much so that states are now starting to provide much more money and professional development for family childcare, because that's what families want, especially for their little ones. So come to this conference if you want more information about it. The title of the conference, I know you guys have this memorized and I don't, Building the Momentum for Pre-K Family Childcare. So next slide.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of our hour. Thanks, guys. But just letting you know in closing that, you know, please continue to invite folks to this task force meeting. The more the merrier, of course. So, and thanks everybody that if this is your first meeting, thanks for coming. Really appreciate your input. Next month is the Early Childhood State Advisory Council meeting. Therefore, we are going, Lisa and I at least will be attending that instead of this workforce. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
this
it's at the
leadership task
same
force meeting.
time.
Yes.
Right.
So we are taking off next month, and we will be, we hope that you all will also be attending this meeting because on the agenda, obviously, is a priority that's very important to us, right? So really understanding the funding streams for fiscal year 2025, and then there will be a presentation on the Early Childhood Workforce Development Initiative. So please, we hope that you'll consider attending this instead of our meeting, which Lisa will be sending the cancellation for, and we will resume meeting in August, where, of course, I said our friend from Impact will be presenting on what their program does. Again, invite a friend to this meeting to join our Facebook group, and please contact Lisa and I with any of your thoughts, questions, or comments. We appreciate you all and thank you all for your time today.
We have a
Happy
lot
summer.
of takeaways, so I really appreciate everybody's honesty here. Keep the communication. Any last
care.
questions?
You said that screen says that August 18th, that's a Sunday. I think the 21st is the meeting.
I always think I'm
Sandy,
perfect, but I'm
thank
clearly.
you.
You're welcome. I just, yeah.
No, excellent. What is
We'll
it,
change that.
August
The 21st, I think.
21st?
Third Wednesday. Thank you. I will change that. And this is recorded, so hopefully everybody comes on the
August
21st.
21st.
Not Sunday.
And everybody should have received the invites for the meetings through the end of December. If you have not, email me and I will get them to you.
Just really quick, it does look like they changed the process where you can register online. So maybe just make people aware of that. So there is the option to mail in, but now you can register online. I just signed up my nephew. So yeah, now you can do it online and it says received. So that is great. Whoever dropped that link in the chat, that's the link that I just used and it worked. So I'll let us
Thank you,
know.
Stacy. Stacy.
Coming through.
That's
I know, and I
awesome.
was
So now
trying
we
to
just
get,
gotta
I don't have kids young enough, so I was like, well, I can't finish the process because I don't have kids young enough. It does take about 12 weeks to get your first book, and then after that, they come monthly.
Well, you know, my little kid that I have, I'm just joking, not to Stacy to give you ideas, but all right. We will see you guys in August, but I will be in touch with those people that we want to have some conversations around CDAs and getting out information about Dolly Parton. So thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Now stop the recording.